Okay, so I've sat and I've marinated on this movie for hours, and I still don't know if I like it. You guys are gonna help me figure that out, okay? Okay, deal. Glass. So Glass is part three in M. Night Shyamalan's super trilogy, I suppose. But it was pitched to us, and we took it to be more of a sequel to Unbreakable than a sequel to Split. But what we get is a sequel to Split that suddenly remembers it also has something to do with Unbreakable. And there is no such thing as balance here, which is weird because you have Samuel L. Jackson, who played Mace Windu, and Mace Windu, being a Jedi, was very concerned about maintaining balance in the Force, but I guess not balance in Glass. Yes, that was a terrible joke. It's not that you didn't get it, it just wasn't good. And as far as the plot goes, there's not a whole lot that I can really say without spoiling it, though. There's nothing significant that happens that isn't spoiler territory, so once I get around to doing the spoiler video on that, I'll be able to talk more about it, but the basics that I can give you are David Dunn is being called the Overseer now, and he's going after the Horde, you know, Kevin from Split, and they get thrown into an insane asylum with Sarah Paulson overseeing them, and who else is there but Elijah Price's Mr. Glass. Samuel L. Jackson's Elijah Price slash Mr. Glass. I don't know. What's with me not being able to talk when I review movies now? Let me know in the comments what you think that's about. Now, I think I'm going to be able to get through the rest of this video without messing up on my speech. So, there's three things that critics and YouTubers like myself are going to say about this movie. It's that David Dunn, you know, Bruce Willis's character from Unbreakable, feels like an afterthought. The second act of the movie drags on, and that the third act makes the entire movie fall apart. The reason that everybody is saying this is because it's absolutely true. Now, as you can tell from the trailer, the core premise of this movie does involve Mr. Glass and Kevin, the Beast, working together to test David's might, basically. But what they didn't tell you from the trailer is that David's barely even going to be involved in anything. Like, you get a pretty good chunk of time with him at the beginning that sets up where he is now, what he's been doing in the last 19 years. But after that, it's just like, oh yeah, he's in this movie too, isn't he? I guess we should probably talk about him. And it's very upsetting because Unbreakable, Elijah and David develop a very personal, interconnected story from start to finish across that entire movie. A story that I would like to have seen continued, but it's completely dropped in favor of adding Kevin, which tells me that Unbreakable and Split don't actually mix as well as M. Night Shyamalan would like us to believe. They don't belong together. Because if they did, it would have been executed far better than this. I just know it in my heart. Unbreakable is a classic. It's a masterpiece. Split is an okay movie. Glass is somewhere in between, I guess. Maybe? I think it's closer to being bad, actually. And when I said earlier that the second act of the movie drags on, it just drags on. Elijah hardly even speaks in it. David's hardly in it. It's all about Sarah Paulson, really. She's the main character of the movie, essentially. And it's weird because it's just like, you're new. What are you doing here? Give me what I came here for. Could you do that for me? Come on, M. You know what I want. Give it to me. And when I said that the third act makes the entire movie fall apart, I absolutely meant it. It's like M. Night Shyamalan was looking at superhero films and he wanted to give us the antithesis of the modern superhero film, which is exactly what we all expected this to be, but somehow didn't understand the task he'd put upon himself. He's like, oh man, I'm going to make a superhero movie that people don't expect to go the certain ways that it goes, but then it's just not going to be good. It's not going to make any sense towards the end. And you know M. Night Shyamalan loves his twist endings. No matter what, he will insert a twist into the ending of his movies, whether or not it compromises the rest of it, whether or not it's a sacrifice of the plot or a detriment to the overall film, he'll get his twist. And it doesn't matter. And I think this is absolutely a scenario in which getting your twist ending was a major detriment to the rest of the movie. But I will say that I liked some of the cinematography. A lot of the cinematography is very gross. Like, there's a lot of POV shots and a lot of, like, in-your-face camera angles where it's just straight up a GoPro strapped to the actor's chest so you can just see their face and that's it. And I'm just like, That's bad. And another thing that tells me that this movie is more of a split sequel than an Unbreakable sequel is there's hardly any music or iconography from Unbreakable. It's like it's straight up a sequel to Split with the little garnish of Unbreakable. And that is unforgivable in my opinion. So is my camera focus right now. Overall, I enjoyed the beginning of Glass, part of the middle, and none of anything else that happened. And I guess that if I have to rate this thing, I'm going to say it's decent, but you won't remember it in a couple days. So Glass, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever it is, whatever you think, comment below and educate me. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want more videos from me, I don't know why I always try to go for these like funny endings that subvert your expectations when really all they ever accomplish